Hello. Hey, sis. I see you, Kissable Skincare. Guys, welcome to Music Mondays with Terri, Cann. Show number 2 for the night. We just got off with Mr. G Noble. And now we are going live with Grammy Award producer and songwriter Gordon Chambers and Kenyan, quote unquote, Ken Pen Pencil. And we're going to give it just like a minute. Oh, Gordon and Ken, I see you guys on. If you can just request to be in the live. We're not even going to wait. We're just going to jump right into it because it's going to be good tonight. Those of you, I see some people who are on my last live. I appreciate you guys coming back. That means that you are tired of Terri Cann. That's what's up. I appreciate you guys. So guys, if you could just request to be in the live, we're gonna hop on in. Awesome. Those of you who tune in, do me a favor and tag 2 people and let them know that we are back for the second time tonight. Music Monday with Terri Cann. Just pull this up real quick. I am excited. There we go. Welcome. Okay, you guys requested, so let's get you on here. I'm also excited because this is my first time that I am this is my going live with multiple people. So let's see how this actually works. I've seen it done. I've never done it before. Welcome again to Hey, gentlemen.
Hi.
Wait, I think we're still connecting. Are we?
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
This is my first time doing this. Thank you.
Yeah. First off, everything.
How are you gentlemen feeling tonight?
Good.
Wonderful. Gordon, how are you, buddy?
I'm fine.
That hat is killing.
Thank you.
Listen, Gordon, is there any way that you can just tilt the camera so I can see? Because like the print on my is just going across. I see the fabulousness of the hat. I want to see. There you go. If you could tilt it
So
down just a little bit more. Can you? If not, don't stress it. But I just want to be able to see your face.
or what do you want? Tell me what I can take the hat off.
No. It's not the hat. I want to be able to see your face. If you can just lower the camera so I can see your face.
lower the camera. Okay.
Yeah, so I could see right now. All I see is the hat
Okay.
with
Is
the
that
words
better?
coming across the bottom. A
Is
little
that
bit more,
better?
can you?
I'm on my tripod.
Oh, then don't worry. Don't
No, no,
worry.
no. We can worry. We want. So this is worse, right? This is more of what you don't want, right?
So you're centered, which is good, but I
We
want
can
to be able to
worry.
see your whole
I'm
face.
just
So
gonna
if you
take this
can
hat off.
lower the camera,
Can you?
it's not the hat, Gordon. Put the hat back on.
Okay. It's and this is bad, right?
That's really bad.
Okay. All right. Hold up.
Okay,
I'm coming.
we go work it out. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's
Is
getting
that
better. Okay, you know what? Leave it right there.
You know what, Tyree? All this means is that the interview is going to be amazing. So you just got to make sure that energy is
That's
100
it.
and just watch. Mark my words.
is this good?
That's it. Leave it right there. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome.
So guys, again, welcome to Music Mondays with Terri Cann. Tonight we have a double show and a double treat. This is the second show for the night. Earlier on we were on with G Noble, and now we have Mr. Kingpin himself of Will Penn Entertainment, who has been a former guest of Music Mondays. Welcome back.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
And thank you. And tonight he has brought the amazing singer-songwriter, producer, and recording artist,
Yes.
Grammy Award winning. Okay, let's put that in there because that's not easy. Gordon Chambers.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, I can no longer see. Wait, what's happening?
Oh, sorry. Did I wait? I'm hitting buttons. Oh Lord, have mercy. What did I do?
So
I'm
funny.
so sorry. Oh, okay. You know, wait. Is,
While,
Oh,
while we
there we
wait,
go.
you know
okay,
what it
there
is?
we
I
go.
keep seeing
Yes.
all the comments. The comments are like all over the screen.
And that's what I'm saying. The comments are all over your face. That's why I was trying to get you to lower
So
it so I
what?
can at
Like,
least
why
see.
are the comments all over my face?
Because that's how Instagram works. That, if you're at the bottom of the screen, that's where the comments are coming up. But in the playback, they won't be there. If that
You're
makes sense.
right. They won't be there in
Okay.
the play.
So
They
is
won't be
this?
that in the playback.
How's that?
I see you through the comments.
Like, this is too many comments.
Well, we want people to comment because hey, that's good. Can you come a little closer?
But that's good.
Stay right there.
Okay.
Are you comfortable?
I mean, wait. I see. See, Ken's face is above the comments. I need to be higher, not lower.
Because he has it. His camera is lower. Your camera is all the way down, right, Ken? You're like in a different position.
Yeah, yeah.
So what should I do?
If there's a way that you can lower your actual, if you're on the phone, if you can lower the phone, that's why I say, can you lower it? There you. That's it, right there.
Okay.
Now I can see your face
Okay.
and your
Welcome,
lovely hat.
welcome,
Thank you.
George.
Welcome. Do you see the difference now too?
Yeah, but I just see comments all over my face, but it's okay.
Well, it's not gonna get any better than this. But again, at the playback, you will see your face. But at least
Your
now I can see your face, which I'm
your
very
face
happy about.
is quite gorgeous.
Oh, oh, thank you, Gordon. Thank the Lord for makeup.
I
Those
love
I see some people coming in. Welcome to everyone that is coming in. Do me a favor, tag two people. Let them know that yes, this is the second show for the night. We have more amazing guest artists on there. Mario Winans said that he sees us just fine. So you know what? If Mario Winans says he sees us fine, then we're good. Hello,
Okay.
Mario Winans.
it.
Right?
What's up, Rio?
And the question is, can y'all see my face, Mario? And the answer is it no, 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 no? Or is it yes, yeah, 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 yes? That's a little shout out to
Sing it.
Bishop Marvin Winans.
D
Anyway,
Bishop has entered
one
the
of my
bedroom
great
room.
inspirations.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. So we're here to talk to you, Gordon, about your amazing musical journey. You have been in this game, succeeding and killing for such a long time.
You think
Okay, I
so?
had a pause. Do I think so?
So?
According to your bio and the fact that Mario Winans came to see you, I think you've been doing a little something.
What up, Mario?
Maybe the Grammy gave it away too. I don't know. I just, So I want to talk a little bit about, about your musical journey. How did you start in this beautiful music industry world?
As a kid who loved music, I still think I am still a kid who loves music. I'm like a big kid who just still loves music. I started as a music fan. My parents bought a lot of vinyl in the 70s, and they bought the Gladys Knights and the Isaac Hayes and the Dionne Warwicks and the Bob Marleys. And, we were a family that just, the Mavis Staples, the Temptations, we were a family that just gathered, and we are still a family that gathers and listens to music. And it was just a way of fraternizing and being, in communion with one another and family and friends. And so from there, the vinyl collection that my father had inspired me to want to look at liner notes, and I started becoming fascinated with how records was made. I would look at things like Paul Reiser string arrangements, and just these names that I would see, like the Waters sisters, like who were they singing background?
Wow.
I
That would
remember
interest
just
you.
reading the back of credits and like, wow, these records are getting made. There's more than just a singer. There's like Jerry Hay doing horn arrangements. There's and you know, the music at that time, Barry White, you know, the 70s music, it was lush, it was grand. Whatever kind of music it
Yeah.
was, it had a lot of live instrumentation,
Good.
live orchestras, background singers. And the music at that time that I heard was lush, it was orchestral, it was grand, no matter what genre, even if it was disco music. And it captivated me and made me want to learn music. So I started studying the classical piano as a child,
Wow.
and trumpet, and then joined like high school jazz bands. And when I went to college, I went to Brown University, which was
Nice.
not a it was a very artsy academic school.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I took a lot of courses there, on electronic music even. I did theater in college. I was in several bands in college, played the piano for the gospel choir in college. And of course, just, you know, continued to write songs. I started writing songs in elementary school, and, you know, got more of a deeper catalog in college. But
Okay.
Teaneck, New Jersey, where I was raised, there was a lot of people in the industry that were neighbors. The Isley Brothers were my neighbors. Millie Jackson was a neighbor. Kool and the
Wow.
Gang were neighbors. So the fact that these people, like, you know, I used to deliver the paper to some of them, and some of them, I would see them taking out their garbage or going to PTA meetings. It made pursuing the business seem tangible. And after college, I took my first job was at Essence Magazine, and it was a great place to network. And I started,
Nice.
you know, recording demos with different producers and friends on the weekends, and one thing sort of led to the other. And I got my first placements when I was about 22 years old.
You know, these stories always amaze me, because a lot of the older, and please don't be, you know, offended by that word, but the older singers,
The OGs.
thank you. A lot
Yes.
of the OGs look at what, you know, the music industry has turned into in terms of, like, you can get discovered off a YouTube video and, like, yeah, this is not real work.
Right.
You know, so I always, like, respect the OGs. Like, no, back then you really did have to record a whole demo,
Yeah.
you know, and pray that it gets to someone,
Yep.
and they listen to, like, the first minute of it. You
Yep.
know, now I can just get on my Instagram live and sing, and somebody will come up. So respect to you, Mr. Chambers.
Thank you.
And you got your first placement at 22. And how did you start with songwriting for such big artists?
I met, you know, I mean, it wasn't always writing for big artists. I was just writing songs for myself and my friends and doing demos. And, you know, and I, you know, there was a whole lifetime before I entered the industry. There was a lifetime of music really before, you know, that prepared me, in my craft. But I was a network. I was a hustler. I was, you know, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I went to, you know, any and everything there was music scene, I would go. In Harlem, there was these Jazzmobile. There were these, you know, there free jazz concerts. There were workshops. ASCAP used to give a lot of, like, workshops. BMI gave workshops. Anything that was, like, free, because I didn't have any money.
Right.
You know, where I could go, I just went. And I had my demo. I used to have my little demo tapes, my cassette demo tapes with me everywhere I went.
Wow.
And you know, but I was actually at Essence. When I was at Essence, I wrote a freelance piece, where I interviewed Queen Latifah, and Latifah was like, after the interview was over, she's like, "Are you a musician?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "And I want to hear your music. It's something about you. I just want to, like."
Wow.
And
What?
she asked me, and, like, you know, I was like, "Oh Lord, this is a conflict of interest." But she asked me, so I gave her one of my demo tapes, and she was like, "This song is dope. I want to work with you." And she invited me to the studio, and I co-wrote a song with her called Winky's Theme that was on her Black Rain album. That was like, she was like the first big star that I kind of gave me a chance to collaborate with. And also Phyllis Hyman, who passed away in the 90s, in 1995, I think, was also one of the first. Those two were some of the very first artists that kind of took me into their, you know, to say, let's write some songs. Let's go to a real studio. And once I had those credits or those things that I was working on, word got around. And when I would, you know, go to an A&R meeting, I said, "Oh, I have something coming out." They were like, "Oh, really? Oh," you know, it's like people want to put you on when they feel like somebody else has put you on, when, you know, people have co-signed you.
Yeah.
So it was a situation like that. And I ended up getting assigned to Prince's publishing company, Paisley Park Music.
Okay.
really as I'm still very, very unknown, but a woman named Kat Jackson took a chance and heard some of my early demo tapes, and she knew that I had the stuff coming out with Latifah and with Phyllis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, I think this kid's going places, and she signed me to when she offered me a publishing deal, I didn't even know what a publishing deal was. She said, well,
How?
and she said, well, I'm going to have to contact your lawyer. And I was like too embarrassed to tell her I didn't have a lawyer. You know what I mean? Well, one of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
other young up and coming producer friends, like, let me borrow his lawyer so I could get my publishing deal done. And while I was there, at Warner Chapel is when I met some of the other. Paisley Park was connected to Warner Chapel, and while I was there, ended up meeting, you know, a lot of the producers out of the Untouchables camp, which was owned by Eddie F. So that included Dave Hall, Kenny Smooth, Kenny Tongay, a lot of other producers. But Dave Hall and I really hit it off and started writing together. And then our first assignment was Phyllis Hyman. That's when Phyllis Hyman took me under her wing, was at that
Yeah.
Dave Hall session. And then Phyllis introduced me to Barry Eastman, and he was like, I want to write with you also. And I was like, oh, sure. And then he sort of took me into their camp. So I also, work with a lot of other producers,
Yeah.
Diddy, the early hitmen, all the hitmen, Stevie J,
Nice.
Herb Middleton, all of them, that whole camp. So those
Wow.
were like the three producer camps, but it was really more the producers. They put me on more so than the artists. A lot of people associate me with the artists, but I always, when I do interviews, always have to really thank the producers, because they were the ones who were on call, having artists call them, and they needed lyricists, and I
Got
was
it.
sort of in the right mix at the right time. Yeah.
I'm listening to your story, Mr. Chambers, and my mind is going to Kenyan. Your story, I feel, when I asked you about your musical journey, the similarity was you were in the right place at the right time and you were prepared. Remember
Yeah,
when you were?
absolutely, absolutely. Started out
And
as
that's so
an artist.
important. Like, be prepared. Could you just tell us a little bit? I don't know. It just came back to my mind, like interviewing you and your story. You know what part I'm talking about, right?
Sure, 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 absolutely. Well, I mean, you know what? It was really preparation. Um, I had this affinity for reading credits, as Gordon mentioned earlier.
See,
And
yeah.
I was about 16, 17 years old, and I would just read credits, read credits. I wanted to know who executive produced the songs. I wanted to know
Uh-huh.
who produced the songs, you know. And so one day I wrote on a sheet of paper that I was going to intern for a label, and I wrote down the three labels, not knowing where they were.
Hmm.
Um, and then within that same week, one of the teachers at my high school said, "Hey man, I have Tyra Griggs McGee, the general manager of then Verity Records, which is now RCA Inspiration, which I ended up working for. Um, she's
Hmm.
the school, and I was 16 or 17, and I followed her everywhere she went, and I was telling her about the albums that she worked on, and she was like, "Who are you?"
Right.
She said, "Who are you, and why do you know so much?" And she said, "I want to take you underneath my wing," and that's what gave me my start.
I love it.
So you
Stories
got
like this
to prepare.
inspire me, and I feel like it's very important for, those who are listening to hear these things. There's a lot of independent artists that listen out for that. Or that need to be inspired, and to know that it's possible. And just that the point is to be prepared. Nowadays, okay, we don't have to have our cassette tapes. For those of you who don't know what a cassette tape is, I don't even have an example of what a cassette. That's how we used to listen to music back in my day. It's called a cassette tape. Oh my God, I feel so old.
Right.
But
Cassette,
but it's
CD.
important to just be prepared with your material, because you never know, especially if you're really putting it out there. You wrote it down.
Yeah.
That's so powerful, right? So when the time came, you were able to give them something amazing. And Mr. Chambers, you have written, besides for yourself, obviously, your credits are crazy. Anita Baker's I Apologize, Brownstone's If You Love Me, Angie Stone's No More Rain. You wrote, I didn't even know this, Missing You, Set It Off is one of my favorite all-time movies. Set It Off and Coming to America, those are my, Coming to America Part 1, 2 favorite movies
Be
in
nice.
the world. And your credits go on and on. So what is your writing process like? Because obviously you write good stuff. So what inspires you when you write a song? All right.
Thank you. I mean, just telling a story,
Mm-hmm.
telling a story that has probably been told before because nothing's new. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
human beings have been living, loving, crying, dying,
Mm.
you know, surviving for thousands of years.
Yeah.
But trying to tell a story in a new way that catches the ear candy, in a way that people can sing along to, in a way that's going to make people really feel.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think music has powerful healing power. Even dance music. I mean, like some days ladies really need to just put their freakum dresses on, and that's therapy.
Listen.
You know, so
Yes, we do.
that's as therapeutic as Missing You, which is a song about grieving and healing. So
Yeah.
music has healing power no matter what tempo that it is. So I I think that I would like to be known that I was a healer through music.
Wow.
As deep. That's powerful. Can it when I when I was reading about it earlier and I saw the song "Missing You," my mind went back. So I was in junior high school when that song came out, right? And that was the age where every good song that came out, us as girls, we were always like, we didn't even have boyfriends, but we were like, "I'll be missing you," right? We used to, like, I didn't know what a boyfriend was, but I just remember being with my friends and just like singing and crying. Why?
Mm.
But anyway. We're so dumb as kids. But and the music industry, even the music has changed from the time when you started. And I don't mean to like rustle any feathers here, but how do you feel about this change in music? Are you liking it? Are you hating it?
Like that's the number one question.
It's
Go ahead.
so
You know,
it's
I'm
so
trying to
funny.
teach you.
I've done several interviews since we've been getting ready for the award
Right.
ceremony on Thursday, and it's like this question keeps. I think I'm gonna start
That's it.
asking. I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna ask the interview. Why? What do you think? Because y'all the ones who keep asking me the question.
Oh, okay, no problem. I don't love it. I don't love it.
Okay.
And when I read your bio and the songs that were in this era, like I think classic music. You know, you even talked about like the instrumentation and the
Yeah.
thought that was put behind it. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to this generation, that's what they do. Cool. But music to me is not like boom, boom, boom. Okay. I just feel like the thoughts and the effort that was put into music in those days is why we're still playing and remembering this music. I used to teach high school. My high school kids will sing Anita Baker and be singing it because they love obviously their parents. But it's like, oh yeah, even they'll tell you like, yo, this is really dope.
Right.
So music, I feel back there transcended time. Like there was no time cap on that because it was just that good.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
This is what I will say. I will say that I have been incredibly humbled by what the next generation has given evidence to me of what my music has meant to them. It has been incredibly profound to me. Cann awarding me this award this Thursday, this Lifetime Achievement Award, means a lot to me because to me it represents that my musical journey has reached and touched the next generation. So
yeah,
I'm only one cog in the wheel. I'm only one human being, but in my walk and in my path, anytime that I get a chance to sit with a younger musician, I do a lot of vocal coaching from ages. Some kids, I have parents who bring their 9-year-olds for vocal lessons with me, or high schools or people that I mentioned that are in their 20s or early 30s. Anytime that I am told that my music, the quality and the caliber and the timelessness of my music is influential to the next generation, that matters to me. So
yeah,
I can't necessarily speak. I don't know that my opinion on today's Billboard charts or today's Grammys, that may be cool for a soundbite, but what's more powerful that I can tell you a testimony of is that so many in my lifetime, so many aspiring or up and coming or even well arrived but younger than me have told me what my music has meant to them. So I
right.
think that the dialogue between the generations of music is a powerful one. I
Yeah.
remember meeting Miles Davis's biography, which is a phenomenal book,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. And Miles had stopped playing the trumpet from 1975 to 80. He stopped completely. He was in drug recovery. Cicely Tyson, rest in peace, really helped him get back alive. Really, he was really dying,
Oh, wow.
So he had to take time and really heal and get drug free. And in the book, he talked about going to jam sessions and meeting these young musicians, white and black, and just hanging out at jam sessions. And he wasn't even playing; he hadn't played. And some of these young musicians came. He started coming to his house, checking on him. He would cook for them. They'd just come by and sit and talk. And
Mm.
they literally loved him back to life and
Wow.
brought
Wow.
him back to his horn. And
Wow.
that story stayed with me very profoundly because I
Wow.
remember a certain period in my career when I, was in between projects and, it was a quiet time and I was feeling like, well, do I still matter? Do people still remember me? Am I still relevant? Am I still connected? And I remember at that time meeting people, including Ken Ben. And Ken introducing himself to me at the gym and just saying, I need you to know
Oh,
that you matter. And
what?
that time, yes, that's exactly where we met. And that time was such a powerful time. It reminded me of that Miles Davis period that he was in,
Wow.
because that was edification and God's, way of letting me know, Gordon Chambers, even though because sometimes when you're considered timeless or
Mm-hmm.
considered the OG, sometimes no matter what your opinion of the next generation's music is, quote unquote, you might think that your time, it's not your time, so you may feel forgotten, you may feel on a pedestal on one level, but you
Yeah.
might feel forgotten
Wow.
on another.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I what I will say personally, the next generation, quote unquote, whatever that is, however you define that,
Mm-hmm.
has loved me back into the love of music, and that's why I'm here today.
Right.
So
Right.
that's my personal testimony to the question.
I love that. And what is some advice that you give to younger musicians when you meet them or younger artists?
What it just depends on what where they are and what they want from me.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come to me, I have a way of knowing how to see what they need beyond their music.
Okay.
And a lot of times, if you're going to be in this business and stay in this business, thank you, JSP, who said, Gordon, your
Jason.
hat is dope. Thank you.
Jay
Say something.
Thank you. I think if you're going to be in this business, you're going to have times in this business. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to have changes. The industry is going to be in changes. I mean, listen, I started off, like I said, I'm a quote unquote OG. I started off was given a cassette tape to Queen Latifah.
Right.
Then there was, my parents had vinyl. Now there was CDs, then MP3s, now streams. I mean, I've gone through every, you know,
Every phase, every era.
phase.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
knows what's tomorrow,
Right.
So you're going to have, trials and tribulations and battles and changes. And, you know, it's going to, for you to sustain in this business, and I don't mean just like having hits or what have you, just, sustain in wherever your musical journey may take you,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to have faith. You're going to have to know who you are, what your purpose is,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to know it, so that when
Mm-hmm.
that song rises up the chart and falls down, your self-esteem doesn't go on the same journey.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh,
Talk, Gordon.
yes, that's good.
So there's been many times in situations and mentoring sessions that I've had to talk to people just about life, and about even financial planning. When people
Yeah.
start to make money in this business and really literally don't know what to do with it, because
Wow.
deep inside they may not think they deserve it. or deep inside, they may have, you know, people around them that they may have survivor's guilt, so to speak. And, you know, you have to, there's been times I've had to sit people down, like people have to do with me, and say, listen, what is going on with your money? Like, have you put some aside? Have you set yourself up, you know, to so you can sustain, you know? So it just really depends, you know, but I really want not people just to make great music, but I want people to have high self-esteem in this industry, you know, because it makes no sense. And these are all people I've met or have known well.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense to me that Natalie Cole, that Andre Harrell, that Whitney Houston, that Phyllis Hyman, that Gerald Levert are dead and gone. It makes no sense. Prince, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the greats.
Why are they not here? Why? And we could theorize, and there's many different answers to those questions, but it just makes no sense. And these are people that I have spent, not, you know, some I've known better than others. I want to be here. My grandfather lived to be 102. And so I want to be here, and I want us as a musical creative community to not just be great at our craft, but really do our work on our worth, you know, on our value as human beings, so that we can sustain, so we can have conversations, and we can become OGs, and we can guide the next.
You said, hold on, you can't just say things like this and just not. So you said, you want us to do our work on our worth. That's powerful. That's powerful. Wow.
Amen.
Wow. I'm seeing all the comments. They're grateful for this this advice that you're giving. Hello to everyone. Go ahead and just tag 2 more people to come in the room, because we have a few more minutes with Gordon Chambers and Kenyan Conceal. And if you guys have questions, please don't post it on the wall. Just put it in the comment box. We're gonna get to question and answers in a few minutes. Wow. Do your work on your worth. So just to play devil's advocate based on what you're saying, how do I maintain who I am as an artist when I get signed to a label and the label is telling me I need to sound like this, look like this, be like this?
Okay. Let's not give the devil any more power. Let's play angels. Let's instead of the devil's advocate. Let's play angels' glory.
I like angels better than demons, so we're gonna go ahead with that.
Angels
Okay.
glory. Yeah.
So.
Hold on one second.
Wait, hold on.
Getting me tonight. He is
I'm
getting
about
my
to say,
whole life.
Let me just tell you this. You are interviewing a journalist. You are interviewing an editor.
I love it.
He's not just a songwriter.
I love it.
He's a writer.
And I'm here for it.
Wait, watch this. The reason why we're celebrating him is not only because he loves words, but words love him back. And so, yeah, proceed.
Do I want to? No, I love it.
But to answer your question,
I'm here for all of the constructive criticism, by the way, because I want to grow in everything that I'm doing. So thank you.
No problem.
Yes.
So that's a very real question. That's a question that artists have had to deal with, and you know, and that as a quest, that can be an internal battle.
Yeah.
That can really cause people, you know, pain. You know, something that's been in every, you know, Whitney's documentaries, they talk about the pain that she felt when she was at the Soul Train Awards, when she was booed. You know, that really hurt her and bothered her.
Yeah.
So I think that in life, you have to know yourself. You have to know what your calling is, what your talent is. And I think that when you really know yourself, you know what your talent is, what your purpose is, what your calling is, and your art is authentic and reflects that.
Mm.
It is so powerful that you will attract labels, managers, promoters, group members that will partner with you because of what your essence is. And they will want that light in you to shine brighter. And I think that that's what you always want to continue to work on. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right.
And so you have to really know, and you have to really be always doing your spiritual on your spiritual journey.
Yes.
As growing, as a human, as you're creating, because that's when you're going to know your purpose. I mean, Marvin Gaye, is one of my favorite artists of all time. I mean, Berry Gordy, in the beginning of Marvin Gaye's career, he sang a lot of songs that he did not want to sing. But when What's Going On came to him, it came to him. His brother had been in Vietnam, and Marvin just was really deeply feeling the pain that Black people were in, and wanted to put it into really an opera. I mean, what's going on? Rolling Stone I think recently called it one of the greatest album of the last 50 years. I think they actually gave, if I do recall, that they voted that one. It really was an opera of his feelings and his pain and his passion and what his brother was going through, set to music. Barry Gordy didn't want to put that out. They were like, this is the bubblegum, label than a Black people, this was Black pop label. It wasn't protest, even though Barry Gordy was releasing Marvin Gaye, also releasing Martin Luther King's speeches on a different part of the label. That was not his vision for Marvin, but Marvin felt that vision, and Marvin stood up for that vision, and he was like, "This is and that ended up being one of the biggest selling records at that time that Motown had ever had." Wow. Stevie Wonder also stood up for himself, because Stevie, at a certain point when he was about 21, or no, I think a little bit younger than that, was like, he wanted to write his own songs and just started writing. And Barry, at that time, the label didn't want the artists to write their own songs. They had Holland Dozier Holland, and they had, Ashford and Simpson. They had, some of the greatest songwriting teams in pop, and they felt like the writers write and the singers sing. But, Stevie was like, I have a vision. And so Stevie wrote a song for the Spinners, It's a Shame, and it became #1. And so he's like, wait a minute, you can't be writing for the competition. He's like, well, you ain't taking me seriously as a writer. Here's my songs. And so, Stevie re-signed his contract, and in his contract, said, I wanted creative control, creative destiny. So, I'm calling, these are two great influences of mine, but they knew they answered to what was strongly within them. And they advocated for themselves when they were in that particular situation with their labels, and the world was the better for it. They could have given up and said, well, he's Berry Gordy, who am I? But they had to answer to a higher executive. The God that gave them the talent was giving the songs. I mean, there's always a higher power than God is the highest executive, is higher than your record label president. You know what I mean?
Come on and preach.
It's so you have to be in tune with what's he who gave you the talent, what he wants you to express with it.
Wow. So what you were saying in summary, you said this earlier, that for independent artist, if you are true to yourself, you're authentic, true to yourself and your calling, then God will send the people that will fit into that. You won't have to, come out of that or be anybody else to fit into the mold of something else. Yes?
I did say that, yes. And it may take a journey. It may take a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I do believe that it will come.
Mm.
If it's what's meant, will come.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do believe that.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That is powerful. What has been one of your greatest obstacles that you've had to face in life, and how have you overcome that?
What has been one of my greatest obstacles in life? You mean not just in music industry, but in life?
In life.
I mean, I think disappointment, hurt,
Mm-hmm.
in people, that I've loved and that I felt hurt, just hurt by,
Mm-hmm.
feelings of, disappointment, betrayal, um, situations like that. And one of the greatest obstacles in life has been forgiveness.
That's a
You
tough
know, it's something that I work on every day.
one. Mm-hmm.
When there's been hurt,
Yeah.
you know, the only way to release that hurt is to forgive, and sometimes that's a daily, you know, something you work on till the day you die. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's been, but I mean, if you live long enough, you do realize that it's, hurt people,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Yeah.
those wounds, whoever wounds you is because somebody wounded them, and
So true.
and once you realize that you were just in the way,
Mm.
when that happened, my mother always jokes about this Richard Pryor. There was this Richard Pryor album when he said, well, he told himself, well, why'd you rob the people? Because they was there. That was like this. So, sometimes you realize that you just happen to be in the
Yeah.
path,
Yep.
when,
Yep.
when something had nothing to do with you got spewed onto you,
Wow. Yeah.
and so, but that's been some of the obstacles that I've had to deal with. Yeah. That's a very honest answer.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I'm sure that even being in the industry, you've experienced a lot, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. So how do you feel that you have maintained this long? What is it that you think has kept you going this long?
I think I've been open to change.
Mm.
You know, I mean, I've worn different hats, literally different hats. I've been, music. I've been a journalist about music. I've been a music editor. I've been a songwriter. I've been an arranger. I've been a background vocalist. I've been an arranger where I was just hired to arrange vocals and didn't sing. I've been a lyricist. I've been a
Wow.
pianist. I've been a accompanist. I've been a public speaker about music. I've been a vocal coach. I've been, done artist development.
Yeah.
I'm a published poet. I've done many, many things that, and even in terms of music, I mean, most people, know me and interview me or are familiar with my R&B catalog, but I've written songs for country and Western artists, jazz artists, house music.
Nice.
I've sung on Naughty by Nature's album. I've sung,
I saw that.
I,
That's right. He did.
Jazz. I mean, I've done, all kinds of music. So I love music. Like the OJ said, I love music. Any kind of music, as long as it's swinging. I really love music. So I've always been open, and I've never had to. I love being around music. I love music. I love what music can do. I
Yeah.
love the power of music. I love that music is, like I said, a source of joy, a source of community, a source of healing. That's what it has been in my life. That's what it attracted me to it.
Wow.
Um, and I love what music is just one way. It's just been my way. You know, you can do that with athletics, you can do that with sports, you can do that with science, but it's been the gift that of me. So I love being in just around music, and I've been open to any aspect of being in music or around music. It didn't have to. I've not been attached that it had to be this or it had to be that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, if it's good, let's do it. And the
That's
people are
awesome.
and the people are cool, you know, and I can get paid, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do it. You know, yeah.
I was searching your music and I saw a track by it said Naughty by Nature featuring Gordon Chambers. I was like, maybe this is a different Gordon.
It is the.
I love that. That's dope. And obviously, you've done some great work. So Mr. Kenyan Pencil, Penn
Yeah,
is
yeah.
presenting you with a Lifetime Achievement Award. So well deserved.
Thank you.
So Ken, I'm gonna turn the table to you to tell us about what's happening with this event on Thursday and
Sure.
and why you're doing it. Mm-hmm.
Well, just off the strength of this conversation, I think that answers the why.
Yeah.
Gordon is a masterclass
Mm-hmm.
personified. And when you're in the presence of Gordon Chambers, what you do is you listen and you take out a pen,
Right.
sheet of paper, or your memo pad, and you just listen because it's a wealth of information. And someone of Gordon's caliber, you don't have that depth of
Yeah.
success because you're talented. You have that type of success because you're chosen.
Come on.
And the call was answered. Gordon was chosen, and he answered the call. And his ability to, he spoke about forgiveness, but I believe personally that one of the reasons why forgiveness um, had to become a thing was because his hands was going to serve as a tool of healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we listened to songs that he was privileged and serve as a channel to write, such as "Missing You," in which
Yeah.
you'll hear the backstory or one of my favorite Yolanda Adams songs, which I didn't know that he wrote until like a couple years ago. Someone's watching over you.
Someone watching over you. Is you got it?
Tune in, March 25th, ladies and
Oh, I'm
gentlemen.
there.
Yeah,
I'm there.
a wonderful rendition of that by the lovely Ayana George. Um, you
I'm
know,
interviewing her next week. She's a nut. She's a problem. Sorry.
and
Go ahead.
so all good, all good. And so, you know, that's why the honor is. And then having had the opportunity to have a one-on-one with Gordon, um, you just really tap in and really see that he has become the instrument as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to one that's just doing a job. He became,
Mm.
you know what I mean? And so he prepared, as mentioned, he prepared through, musical lessons, and he
Yeah.
also became learned, you know what I mean? And so that he could, be prepared and be ready. So when it was time to execute. And and
Yeah.
and and, and so while traditions change and sounds change, fundamentals do not.
Mm.
And
That's
that's
right.
and that's why in 2015 we saw how the implementation of Gordon's song "If You Love Me" was remade through Tory Lanez, and it dominated the radio. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So why did Tory Lanez choose that song? Well, let's just do a little brief history on Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is an incredible songwriter, which means that his something about that melody that Gordon chose, it
Mm-hmm.
permeated his soul, permeated his ears. So you're talking about a guy in a whole, not even my generation, but the next generation. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
for my aspiring writers and producers and artists, while sounds will evolve and they will change, the foundational things they don't.
That's it. That's
They
it.
don't.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
what we've witnessed when we're listening to these songs, we're listening to strong melodies, we're listening to strong storytelling, great
Yeah.
cadences, melodies that just prick your heart and soul, and
Mhm.
and a oneness between the lyrics and the music. There's a oneness there.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, hit songs are not they can be serendipitous, but I also believe that when you prepare, hit songs become intentional.
Right.
And so you hear your from your verse to your pre-hook to your hook to your bridge. It's all cohesive. And so it's an honor to celebrate someone of this magnitude as a songwriter myself, but as a music lover, as a fan of music, and really as a fan of people. I love people. Um, and when you get the opportunity to connect with Gordon Chambers, he's a loving guy. You know what I mean? Who has been called, who has been given a great assignment. It is such a pleasure and a blessing to even have access to a
Yeah.
living legend to learn from, to engage with. And
Yeah.
so it's a platform. You know, the funny thing about this, so just brief history regarding Next. So Next was a platform that it was a vision that was in my heart. When I was an A&R for RCA Inspiration, I observed what they were not doing. So I'm an
Mm.
entrepreneur by nature, but when you work for a corporation, you have to incorporate your entrepreneurial without, interrupting their flow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It can be an advantage or it can be a hindrance. And
Correct.
so what I was looking for, so keep in mind, remember I said I wrote down 3 labels when I was 17 years old. Now, I think I was 33 or 34. So everything came full circle, but now I'm employed to do what I knew I was able to do at
Right.
17. And so I was
Mm.
like, my moment, I'm about to make it count.
Right.
And I did my very first showcase called Next 2015 as an A&R for RCA Inspiration along with some of my friends. And it was so funny because I was cleaning up my phone the other day and I saw one of the artists that I was scouting and come to find out her name is Brianna Babineau and she will be a part of, I don't know the name of the show, but a new show that's going to be airing on OWN, Oprah Winfrey's network. Yeah. And so I was unable to consummate the deal as an executive, but it showed me that I knew what I was talking about,
That's
right?
so dope. Yeah.
And so moving
You
forward,
mentioned that with Ty Tribbett too from your interview.
yeah,
Yeah.
timing is everything.
Yep.
Time, Timing is everything. You have to surrender to the process. And
Wow.
so, just to accelerate this a bit, uh, in 2018, I was afforded the opportunity to do not making the band, the four, and
Mm-hmm.
and the following year I did making the band. And so I said, wow, there was a consistency here,
Yeah.
and it is, Ken, you're good at scouting, you're good at recognizing, and you have a penchant for who's next. And
Yeah.
so what I see that as is intuition. I see that as, it's divine. And so Next is a platform that presents the newest and the up and coming, those that are,
Mhm.
some may not even have the footprint. Some just may have, the impact. Some may have that impact that I recognize. You know
Got
what
you.
I mean? Some may
Yeah.
show in the numbers. But then there's also the tribute aspect to Next, whereby we do honor our predecessors and
Good.
we say
Good.
salute to the likes of Gordon Chambers because there is no future without a history.
That's it.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, join us on this Thursday virtually, and
Virtually.
only virtually. Click the link in my bio at I am Ken. You do not want to miss this. The singers are singing. Gordon is dropping some wonderful jewels. How beautiful.
So sorry.
Go ahead, sing it,
Oh, it's
Gordon.
so beautiful. I wanted to meet
Like,
her.
Go ahead,
oh,
I'm
sing
glad
did
it.
you
you?
brought her.
Meet the children of the future. Go ahead, Gordon. Gordon has a song for everybody. Go
I
ahead.
believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. What's your name?
What's your name?
Eden.
Huh?
Eden, the whole bit Eden.
She said her
Sister?
whole name. Her name is Eden Ohima Elizabeth. She said her whole name.
Hi,
How
Eden.
you
Eden.
doing? How you doing?
That's such a peaceful name. You are beautiful. You have beautiful eyes.
What do you
Yes.
say?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and saying hi.
Thank you, Eden. And so, March 25th,
Uh,
this Thursday at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern, we are elated. We are excited. This production is amazing. The team, the singers.
now let's
Uh,
talk about these singers that you have coming on.
can I? Should we? Sure, let's do it.
Please. Because I saw the lineup and I was like, my God.
Well,
You already mentioned Ayana George, who's just ridiculous.
Ayana is a jewel. Ayana is a gem. As an A&R, One of the things that I look for are people that have not just an it factor, but a factor that uh, is both universal and unique.
Yeah.
Uh, universal and unique, and that's not common. So you can find a lot of people that sing, but then there are textures and tones and execution, and not just sing, but where they sing from.
Yeah.
And so to Gordon's point earlier about the wonderful Marvin Gaye, that was one of the things that we loved about him and still love about him. It was about where he was singing from,
Yeah.
and so many other greats. And so Ayana's one of them. We have Ali Caldwell, who was a finalist on The Four that I had the pleasure of working on, and as well as The Voice. Whew. I put a snippet of her performance on my Instagram page. So
Oh, did you? I gotta check that out.
yeah. You should. You should. I believe I just seen a comment from Donald Lawrence, so I'm excited to see what he said. So I mean, people performed. People really performed. Ali Caldwell. Who else? Matia Celeste. Just phenomenal. Wonderful soprano. Um, the wonderful Aaron Marcellus.
Aaron Marcellus.
A modern day crooner, a young man who just tells a story, note by note. Um, Listen to his wonderful. We put a snippet of his wonderful rendition of "Lift Every Voice," and we've never heard anything like that before. So reminiscent of the greats such as Donny Hathaway and Nat King Cole. And who else? Oh, and the wonderful from Philadelphia, Miss Limo, just a great hybrid of R&B and jazz. And they're singing for blood. The background, Shahrazad,
Except they're singing for blood.
Richard Ashley, Patrice Walker, aka Binky. The band is incredible. They're singing for blood. They're going for it, and that's how you tribute. That's how you tribute a legend. When you mess with Will Penn, baby. I had to turn it up a little bit, Gordon.
Turn it out, though.
It's all good.
I'm from
How
Brooklyn.
you do it? Okay, no, not you, Eden. You don't turn it up. Please go to daddy. Here, go to daddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My kids are usually like literally locked in the bedroom for Music
She's
Monday.
ready to turn it up.
But this
I
is
love it.
show number 2, so I had to let them out. But Will, that sounds amazing. And for those of you who are tuned in, Will is so just such an amazing
Wait, hold
human
on.
being.
Some people call me Will because of my company, Will Penn, but it's Ken Penn, ladies and gentlemen. Ken Penn.
I know your name. Okay, you want Ken Penn. Kenyan Penn Steel is giving away 2 tickets.
Yes.
To this amazing show.
Yeah.
So how do we want to do this? Are we just like randomly being given away? Do we want to do some trivia? How much? What do we want to do with this giveaway?
Gordon, I see Gordon over there. What's on your mind, Mr. Chambers?
I was like, let's give one to the person who liked my hat.
So I was gonna ask because Jay Songz has been here since the beginning of the interview. He's been commenting. He's been engaged. So Jay Songz, you just won a ticket to Next, honoring Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Gordon Chambers this Thursday.
So that's my pick. Ken, you can pick the next pick. You pick the next pick.
Okay, cool deal. So check it. With this being Women's History Month, we wanted to honor the women. And so the 2 tickets are designated for the women that are still on this line. So let me see. I'll do it like this. Now, if I recognize you, I'm not choosing you. And so let me see. 2 women. I need you to pick the number from 1 to 10.
Oh. The woman, I believe it's I am. Wait, I see. It's so hard reading these Instagram names. I am Nell Ashley.
Okay.
Out of Washington.
Okay. What's the numbers though? I need to see them at the.
So put in the just post on the wall. Cann is thinking of a number between 1 and 10, and whoever guesses the number will get the second and the last free ticket to this amazing virtual event that
I'm excited, y'all. Go tell your friends. We're putting snippets up.
Seriously.
Go to my Instagram page. That's IAM Ken Penn. Also follow my company page. That's right, Chris. You're right on it.
Crystal got it. That's my soror.
I was thinking that number too.
See, Crystal got it. So she got it, right? 7?
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that number.
Congratulations, Chris. So how would they just DM you to get the tickets?
No. So if you could pin this at the bottom, right?
Yep,
So
got you.
I would like for Chris to email willpinnext@gmail. So that's Will,
Will.
WIL, 1L,
Uh-huh.
pen, PEN, next @gmail.com.
Okay.
Stating who he is and, provide the pertinent information. And
All right. Will
Oh,
pin
and
next at Gmail. Make sure I spell everything correctly. I pinned it there.
somebody's asking, do I have IG? Yes, I'm on IG. Gordon Chambers is my Instagram. GORDON Chambers is my Instagram. Yep.
Yes, make sure that you're following both Gordon Chambers and Ken Penn and Crystal and Jay Songs. That is the email address to say you were on the show tonight and you want free tickets. You
yeah,
want them free tickets, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing.
We really want, everybody to come in. The ticket price is currently $15. The price will be changing, I believe, within the next 24 hours. But I'm letting you know now, this is an event that you do not want to miss. You do want to be a part of it. The level of excellence and the level of quality is A1, and I believe in my heart that Gordon Chambers is certainly deserving of this.
Well
Even
deserved.
yesterday,
Yes.
as I was in the gym, Gordon, I was in the gym with you. Oh,
Yeah, I kind of want to hear that story. Like you met Gordon in the gym. How did you just ran into him randomly?
sort of, kind of. But hold on, Bill. My heart's desire, I gotta put it out there.
Of course.
Is that Gordon Chambers will also be inducted into the Rock and Roll, Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame.
That needs
Because
to happen.
honestly, these songs are just, to me, he's the equivalent of the Baby Faces of the world and the Diane Warren,
Yes.
who, men and women who have written
Yes.
classics remain to be the soundtrack. But yeah, so long story short, we have a person in common, musical guy in common, and so I met the producer at Gordon's house, but Gordon was leaving as I was coming in, and so I was like, "That's Gordon Chambers." Well, Gordon was on about his way. He was just going about his way. And at the time, I lived in Fort Greene. I lived in Brooklyn, Fort Greene.
Brooklyn.
So we went to the gym, and I'm on the treadmill, and I see somebody coming up the stairs, and I'm like, that's Gordon Chambers. And I'm like, that's not Gordon Chambers. And I'm like, I'm having a whole conversation with myself. Like, that's Gordon Chambers. No, it's not. And then I was like, just let's go ask him. And I said, what did I say, Gordon?
He said, are you Gordon Chambers? And in my mind, I was thinking, and are you the IRS or are you the police? Like, what?
Right. Why are you asking me?
Because he said with both names, are you Gordon Chambers?
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
And very pleasant, very pleasant. And I asked him if I could send some songs over. And that's how we built our friendship,
That's
off
awesome.
the strength of music. And I was like, wow, like a legend, you know what I mean? Who's like, yeah, you got a gift. And Gordon has been a very important voice in my life. In the music world, you will experience journeys, and at times they will be unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I recall saying something to Gordon. I don't know if it was this year or last year. I said, Gordon, my journey has been very unpredictable. That's something that I believe I will retain for the rest of my life. He said, but you've been adaptable. And I was, whoa. Whoa. He said, you've been adaptable. Because as a songwriter, it's a gift that I have, and I'm allowed to really open and access to it. It brings me into the presence of not just God, but also great people like Gordon and so many others.
Right.
And so when you haven't amassed the success of your predecessors, you begin to question and wonder, what am I doing? But just being pliable on the journey. So to Gordon's point, it's like if it was up to me, I wouldn't have pursued being an executive again. I got called to do that because of I was working with an artist, and they said, we're watching you. someone's watching over you. and, and they were
Wow.
watching me, and I was like, oh wow, and so stepping into the field as an executive afforded me the opportunity to work on these wonderful TV shows while
Right.
simultaneously, writing, producing, and now working on shows. And I'm like, whoa, like I would have never imagined, putting on my own show. So I'm, just very, very excited. And I encourage everyone, be adaptable, be open.
Be adaptable.
It may
Yeah.
not be so ideal, your path. It may not be as you imagine. Just be adaptable. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Go along the journey. You know what I mean? It's divinely orchestrated.
I love that. I love that. And Mr. Chambers is a testament of that, right? He said that's what kept him this long. He said, I
Yeah.
just couldn't change. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, join us this Thursday. Join us this Thursday. 8 p.m. Eastern. In fact, if you go on my Facebook page, we'll have a pre-show. So that's gonna be free. Pre-show is free. DJ
Word?
Pinnacle, yeah. DJ Pinnacle, from New Jersey. He's part of Sirius XM. Incredible guy. He'll be DJing for the first 30 minutes, and then we jump into the show. We're gonna hear these singers just give us a clinic and tell us a story through these wonderful
Dope.
songs, wonderful lyrics. So
Dope.
join us this Thursday.
All right. So this Thursday, the pre-show is from 7:30 to 8 on your
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
Then we're
Yeah.
switching over to the show
Yeah.
with just the singers. They're beast, y'all. And of
Yeah.
course, we're honoring the amazing Gordon Chambers, who's with us tonight. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to come. Oh my God. To come and talk to us. Gordon, you dropped so many gems. I just want to sit and have tea with you and just listen. I just want to just talk, I just want to glean from you. You have so much wisdom and experience in the business. So thank you guys again for your time. Those of you who have tuned in, thank you for tuning in. Do not miss this show this Thursday.
Click the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio.
The link is in his bio. Also, the flyer is on your page. The flyer is on my page. So, guys, there's no excuse. Check it out.
Thank
y'all so much.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.
Peace.
Okay. Guys, thank you again for those who have tuned in to Music Mondays with Terri Cann. This is show number 2. My child is obviously on the loose again. We usually have them locked in the room for show number 1, but this is show number 2. Well, we just met up with Gordon Chambers and Kenyan, Ken Pencil. We had an amazing conversation. If you're now tuning in or you came in late, go ahead and check out the playback because Gordon Chambers, he just dropped so much gems, especially for us as artists. So watch the playback. Don't miss the show Thursday. Have a good night. See you back here Monday, 7 p.m. for Music Mondays with Terri Cann. It's another double show. We mentioned Ayana George. We are interviewing Ayana George from 7 to 8. And from 8 till 9 is what? The after party. What are we celebrating? 1 year of Music Mondays with Terri Cann. It's a party. And we are having some previous guests. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You just have to be surprised. You just have to be on the show to see who is going to pop up. They're going to pop up and update us on what's been going on in their life prior. So God bless you all. Love you. Good night.